A Woodbury County judge says she will not dismiss the charges against the man charged with criminal mischief for spray painting flowers on several Morningside manhole covers. Judge Melinda Wicks issued that ruling following a hearing last week on Brandon Bradshaw's motion to dismiss the charges. Bradshaw's motion was based on a memorandum of agreement that was signed back in November by Bradshaw and Sioux City Mayor Bob Scott and mediated by an official with the Siouxland Chamber of Commerce. That agreement, which did not involve the county attorney, said charges against Bradshaw would be dismissed. In her ruling, Judge Wicks wrote that the mayor and chamber, quote, lacked authority to hold such negotiations, adding, quote, the court cannot hold that the county attorney should be bound by unauthorized plea negotiations conducted by an agency with no legal authority to make such promises of leniency, end quote. A pretrial hearing in the case is now scheduled for March 19th.